Hey everybody, it's Dennis Wood from Cinevate, here after a long absence on the web and from our brand new studio here at Cinevate's new home. And I'm here to answer an important question that every shooter probably asks at some time in their life, which is, how do you get a coffee delivered smoothly and efficiently into a shot? And I figure this is the way to do it. Compliments of our new Axis Jib. Let me just tell you that the product, this is our first product ever designed completely in software, meaning nothing was machined outside of the virtual world. Not only that, but we simulated the load on this thing, which is pretty cool, in the software. So we could put 100 pounds out here and a 200-pound counterweight, or we could say, look, let's put 500 pounds here and let's see where it breaks. And the software model takes every component, nut, bolt, screw, bearing into account and gives us a very comprehensive view. So the big thing with the jib is, well, you know, and the obvious elephant in the room, if you like, is the fact that there's only a single tube. And when we were looking at jibs, and we've designed a few of them, believe it or not, my first jib I built in my garage about 9 years ago. And we've been playing around with them since to find a product that would work for you. It was important that it was rapidly deployed, that it was super stiff, that there were no pinch points, that there wasn't a single point of failure that would necessarily take you out of a shoot. And we just went down the list and we tried to design everything in or out of the product as appropriate based on professional feedback. So, first of all, single tube. Why? Because we can make a bigger tube that's super stiff and we can hide all the mechanicals inside. So there's no threads to strip, fasteners to take care of. It's all taken care of inside. And I mean, we worry about the quality in terms of assembly. We take care of it for you. So all you have to do is throw it on the tripod and go. First of all, 100mm bowl, and we've got a 100mm ball Satchler head sitting in here. It's kind of nice if you have a bowl up there because you can level the camera at whatever position you want and be able to pan it without having an angle change. So the bowl is kind of important to give you lots of flexibility in positioning the camera. What's kind of cool about this bowl is that right now it's at level, but I can take it out. I can just unscrew these, and in fact I can loosen this now without a disaster because we've got some mechanical safeguards built in. But if I wanted to change the attitude of this, I would just loosen these two. I can pull the pull the bowl forward. I can rotate it 45-degree increments to upside down. So I can have this camera hanging upside down. So if you want those ground scraping shots, you just flip the bowl around. And it takes all of, I would give it about 30 seconds to loosen and take out. Okay, so sliding along the beautifully smooth, custom extruded anodized tube, I will get to the most important part of the jib, where all the kind of precision, smoothness, and silence, did I mention silence? I can safely say that this jib is entirely silent in operation. You won't hear bearing rumble, you won't hear squeaking. Why? Because everything that moves has got a bearing associated with it. That's part of being precise, and that's part of being silent and smooth. So one thing you will not see, I believe, on any other jib in the planet are these marking rings. And we thought, you know, because we do rigs for DSLRs and so on, well, pretty much any camera. Not that I'm suggesting you use this massive marker, by the way, but we'll make the marks nice and big so you can see. So if I'm operating, and guess what? Not just for tilt, but for pan too. So if I wanted to execute the shot, and I don't want to look at the monitor, I don't want to look at the operator, I just want to focus on being smooth, then I can now, assuming everything's unlocked, notice that there is a tilt brake, and they're on both sides. They're internal, locked. This thing isn't moving. So I'm going to loosen those. So I do have some, so I can actually execute this shot. And we also have the pan brake. Again, one on either side to make sure it can be securely fastened. So they're symmetrical, and with both fastened, we're talking, not that I suggest you leave this weighted. You should never, ever operate a jib unweighted, especially not locking it. Example, leave weight out here, lock here. Why? Not because we're not comfortable with this taking the load, but because this thing's going to fall over. If you have a lot of weight out there and you take your weight off here, it's going to be a tip hazard. And you know, at some point, you're probably going to damage. If you've got a 50-pound camera out here, no counterweight, and you lock this, there will be a problem. So don't do that. In any case, if I want to execute a shot now, the shot I marked gives me essentially this movement. and I'm not even looking at the camera. So what I can do, if I so choose, if things are complicated and I have focus pulling going on, the operator can basically execute the shot, which is going to involve, it's going to involve a pan from here to say here. Why? Because I've marked it. And it's going to involve a tilt from there to there. So I can basically kind of wing through here, keeping an eye on both marks, and execute my shot. The last, well, there's a few other features that we should cover on this. One is the hiding on top here is the one tool that you will need. And it's, there's a slot in here that kind of prevents you from putting this together incorrectly. And it's magnetically secured. We like magnets here. So it's not going to fall out of there. It's the one thing you need. We'll go over in terms of build. Great to have a spare in the case. Like I said, this is the one place we can't be toolless because we have some really tight confines for the person who wants to ask. And it would actually restrict the movement in this design. So it's a standard, we'll have to insert size of Allen key here with text. And, but what you need to know is that it's kind of, it's designed to be a safety. In other words, if you can't put the Allen key in, you don't have the front end or the back end put on properly. And it's the only thing you need to make sure of. So this is sort of a safety feature. If the key is in, then whoever put the back end in did what they were supposed to do. So we have plenty of mount points, so I can go ahead and stick, and of course we have all these nice little grip arms that are super simple and also crazy reliable because there's really nothing to go wrong with these parts. And in the position that I'm in right now, I'm good to go. And if I want to reorient it, it's a matter of loosening, twisting, doing whatever I like. So super versatile. You can tell we've thought about different ways to mount accessories on here. There's also an extra mount point right at the back here. It's currently got a stainless screw in it, and you can check your manual for that. That's designed to give you a mount point at the back in case you want to operate from behind. Let's look at the end. This is all standard weight stuff. 1 inch. These are weights we got used for dollars from the sporting store around the corner. And these are just weight clips that we provide when we sell the jib. This bar is removable. As you might guess, it just inserts through. You loosen this nice German manufactured kip. And of course, this is aluminum and anodized, so it's super cool. And again, removable. You'll understand why when we pack it down. So let's talk about our trim weight a little bit. You pretty much grab the 2-pound trim weight, which stays on the jib, and you just move it to the location you want. So you got about a 2-pound trim to get this thing perfect. And it was perfect for this load, somewhere back, and we'll wiggle it. You can tighten and loosen it, by the way. There's 2 fasteners here that can be used to sort of set the tension. But the idea is just slide it back and forth. It's held on by tension. So what I'm gonna do, I advised earlier that you really should take the weights off first. Why? Because I want the camera to be sitting there safe. So we'll go back here, maybe out of frame for my good friend Lucas. And I'm going to toss those. I'm taking the weight off here and I can, oh, you gotta love that. How did that sound for audio? Right on, here. They're gonna be wondering downstairs what's going on. And another weight, satisfying clunk to the floor. There's carpet, don't worry, and it's wood. So I can go ahead and remove this guy, it's out. So I'm now safe to come over here. And what I'm gonna do with this whole rig is I'm going to go ahead and lift. It'd be kind of nice to have an assistant here, but we're gonna do it this way. Give that a spin. I would likely clean that up. The camera's off. Finally, it's gonna be easier if I just leave it on the sticks for this part. So what I'm gonna do is loosen and loosen. So this is now loose. I've got my weight off, and I'm going to gently and efficiently, once I get past these lock points, remove the back of the jib. That goes in the bag. The back is off. Oh, the key. The key goes back in. Notice the magnet. And now this part's super simple. Loosen. And there's no shortage of thread. And we're done.